was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I didn't invite him.
No, you didn't.
But he came anyway.
I came.
He was there.
That's right. You know, we had something. I love this man. You know, everybody calls him LT. I call him Lawrence Taylor.
I'll tell you what, best football friend you could ever have. You know.
How good was Lawrence Taylor? NFL legends still ask that question. When Carl Banks and Harry Carson talk about him, they use different words. Fear, respect. One defender made entire offenses panic. One man forced teams to invent new positions. One man changed football forever. Before you hear why, give this video some hype. Hit that button. It helps us make these stories. Now let us tell you why Lawrence Taylor broke the game. Before 1981, football was predictable. The defensive line had 4 guys. Those 4 rushed the quarterback. The linebackers stood back and reacted. If the play was a run, they filled a gap. If it was a pass, they dropped back into coverage. This system worked for decades. Outside linebackers were 215 to 225 pounds. They needed speed and quick thinking. Great ones like Jack Ham and Ted Hendricks were brilliant at reading offense. But read and react was the whole job. Just read and respond. Wait for the play to develop, then fill your assignment. It was safe and predictable. Pass rushing belonged to defensive linemen. The 4 down linemen were the hunters. Linebackers were the gatherers. That was the division of labor. And it worked year after year. Then in 1981, the Giants drafted Lawrence Taylor 2nd overall. And everything broke. Taylor did not play this position the same way. He attacked, he dictated, he came off the line with explosive power before the offensive line could set. He called it attack mode. He did not wait to see what you did. He came at you right now. Before the snap was even complete, he was past you. His body broke the system. He ran a 4.53 in the 40-yard dash. That is wide receiver speed, defensive back speed, but he weighed 240 pounds. That combination should not exist. The momentum equation states that force equals mass times velocity. Taylor had both enormous mass and extraordinary velocity. This created a momentum problem that no lineman of that era could solve. Offensive tackles knew 2 types of rushers. The bull rusher was big and strong but slow. The speed rusher was fast and light but weak. You could stop one with power or one with technique. There was a binary choice. Taylor was both simultaneously. He could run around you because he was fast. He could run through you because he was strong. He bench pressed nearly 400 pounds. His leg drive was explosive and devastating. His first step was faster than most cornerbacks. Tackles had no answer because the answer did not exist. The kick slide was the most important football technique. You step back at a 45-degree angle and shuffle backward, keeping your body between the rusher and quarterback. Taylor made it useless. If the tackle kick slid slowly, Taylor ran around him. Too fast. If the tackle kick slid quickly, he was off balance. Moving backward, you have no power. Taylor would run straight through him. Taylor also invented the strip sack technique. Before him, a sack just meant losing yardage. The quarterback gets thrown down behind the line, negative yards. But Taylor had a different vision. He wanted the football. He would wrap up with one arm and slash down at the ball with the other arm in one violent motion. The tomahawk chop. It was dangerous because your arm could get knocked away. But when it worked, the quarterback fumbled. The other team recovered it. Every sack was a turnover threat. Every sack was catastrophic. By the mid-1980s, great coaches realized something. They had to change entire systems because of one man. Joe Gibbs coached the Washington Redskins. He was brilliant, but against Taylor, his system failed. So Gibbs did something almost never done. He created an entire game plan for one defender. Gibbs said, "We had to try in some way to have a special game plan just for Lawrence Taylor. He is one person that we learned the lesson the hard way. One sentence shows everything." Taylor was so unstoppable that the second best team in the NFC devoted their whole strategy to him. The solution was the H-back. This position did not exist before. Gibbs invented it because of Taylor. An H-back was a tight end or fullback lined up off the line behind the tackle. As the quarterback called the play, the H-back would slide across the field. Wherever Taylor lined up, the H-back went there too. At the snap, there was an extra blocker on him. This invention changed football forever. The H-back package is now used by every NFL team. Back then, it was only invented because Taylor was too good. Gibbs tried running backs first. They would step up to block Taylor. This failed. Taylor was too strong to anchor and too fast to mirror. He would run through them or around them. Nothing worked, so the Redskins went to triple teaming. One tackle, one tight end, one running back. 3 people on one defender, 3 against 1. And it still was not guaranteed. When 3 people focus on one man, the other 10 defenders face one-on-one against the other 10 giants. That breaks defense. Bill Parcells said, "When you can rush 3 in Lawrence Taylor, it is like rushing 5.5 people. That is how much one man was worth." Even Bill Walsh had to change his entire system. Walsh invented the West Coast offense. His philosophy was get the ball out fast. 2.5 seconds. But Taylor forced Walsh to bastardize his system. Slide protection. The whole offensive line slid toward Taylor. Guards pulled out to help. He invented them to survive Taylor. Steve Wallace was the 49ers left tackle. Even with Walsh's schemes, Wallace felt isolated and alone. He said he found a way to shut them out, but everybody knew. Taylor was unique. The 49ers brought in rookie tight end John Frank just to wrestle Taylor during the playoffs. Frank had to physically pin Taylor to slow him down. That was the only way. This brings us to money, the blind side economy. Before Taylor, left tackle was a good job, but not premium, not the highest paid. Taylor changed that forever. For a right-handed quarterback, the left side is the blind side. His back is turned. He cannot see. Taylor lived on that side. He attacked from the blind side. Quarterbacks never saw him coming. The scariest moment came on November 18th, 1985. Monday Night Football, national broadcast. Theismann was the Redskins quarterback. He looked downfield. Taylor came off the edge. Theismann never saw him. Taylor hit from behind. His knee drove into Theismann's lower leg. The tibia and fibula shattered. Theismann's career ended. One hit, one moment. Career over. That moment showed NFL owners something terrifying. The most valuable player on your team, your franchise quarterback, can be destroyed if the left tackle is not good enough. That man is the only protection. That is when left tackle became premium. General managers realized they needed a specific player at left tackle. Huge, 300 pounds or more, but also quick, basketball foot speed, massive yet athletic. This combination was rare. Scarcity drove prices up, way up. Anthony Munoz was the greatest tackle ever. His battles with Taylor were legendary. Taylor admitted Munoz was one of the few who could handle him. Munoz set the template for expensive tackles. But the real moment came in the 1990s. Will Wolford was a good tackle, not great, not Hall of Fame, but he signed with the Indianapolis Colts in 1993. His contract had a poison pill clause. If the quarterback's salary went up, Wolford got paid more. He was guaranteed to be the highest paid player on offense, not the quarterback, the tackle protecting the quarterback. That shows how much Taylor changed things. Today, left tackle is one of the top 3 highest paid positions, along with quarterback and edge rusher. This entire economic system exists because of Lawrence Taylor. The blindside premium came from him. The money is also hazard pay. Playing against Taylor destroyed your mind. Jerry Sizemore was a Pro Bowl tackle. He described the week before facing the Giants as absolute madness. Mid-week, something came over him. He would start sweating, just sweating profusely. During game week, there was nothing to do but wait and fear. Near the end of his career, Taylor looked at him and laughed. Just looked at him and laughed. That was all it took. Sizemore decided right then and there, I have to get out of this game. One laugh, one moment of Taylor's confidence. It shattered Sizemore's will completely. Bill Belichick confirmed this psychological phenomenon. He coached Taylor. He said he could tell by the lineman's face who would block him. By the fear, by the panic. Fear made linemen overset. They retreated too fast. They anticipated the speed rush coming, but that opened inside lanes. Taylor's power rush cut through those lanes like a knife. He did not just beat their bodies, he broke their will and their confidence. Now comes the legend moment. 1988 against the New Orleans Saints. Week 12. Taylor had a torn pectoral muscle, severe shoulder injury. For a pass rusher, the pectoral is everything. It gives you power to punch, to shed blocks, to tackle. This tear is usually season-ending. Taylor refused to sit. The Giants rigged a special harness, a brace. It strapped his injured arm to his torso. His arm was immobilized. He took the field with one functional arm. The Saints should have destroyed him. They could have run right at him, forced him to shed blocks with one arm. Impossible. But Taylor was unstoppable, even on one arm. 7 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. The Giants won 13-12. 3 sacks that won the game. How did he do it? Leg drive. His legs were the weapon. He turned his lower body into a missile. He bull rushed the Saints tackles straight back into the quarterback. He could not swim. He could not rip. Just legs. Raw lower body explosion. Also surprise, the Saints underestimated his range. He played with ferocity that made no medical sense. Parcells said he has got that throttle open at about 200%. And timing. The sacks came at critical moments. Late in the game, Saints driving, Taylor created turnovers, forced bad situations. That game created pure mythology. It proved something crucial. Taylor's dominance was not just physical gifts, it was mental processing, competitive will, intelligence, game sense. All the physical gifts mean nothing without that mindset. Bill Belichick was the linebackers coach, then defensive coordinator. He used Taylor like a chess piece on a board. Taylor could stop the run like a defensive tackle. He could cover like a safety. He could rush the quarterback like a premier edge rusher. Because of these rare abilities, Belichick Belichick could disguise his intentions. The defense was unpredictable. Belichick lined Taylor up all over the field, sometimes over the center, sometimes wide like a defensive end, sometimes dropping into coverage. He was called the Joker or elephant position, a roving weapon, a Swiss Army knife. If the offense slid protection to Taylor, he dropped into coverage and the Giants blitzed from the other side. If they did not slide, he rushed. The offense could not predict what was coming. The confusion let Taylor dominate even more because offenses simply could not game plan for him. Belichick said coaching Taylor was singular, unique. When asked to compare him to modern players like Khalil Mack, he refused. I am not putting anybody in his class. Put everybody down below that. Below. Not even close. Bill Parcells was the head coach. He managed the man. Taylor was volatile, emotional. Parcells understood something. Taylor needed challenge, not coddling. One playoff game against the Rams, Taylor was sluggish. Parcells questioned his effort, baited his ego. Taylor got furious, went back on the field, angry, immediately recorded a sack and forced fumble. Parcells had known that would happen. When Taylor was late to meetings, Parcells did not immediately fine him. He saw the sheepishness. Taylor knew he messed up. Parcells lightened the mood, made Taylor relieved. Then Taylor repaid that leniency on Sunday. One story shows this. Parcells found Taylor running a blitz not in the playbook. Taylor improvised, made up his own play. Parcells said, "We do not even have what you are doing." Taylor replied, "Well, we better put it in on Monday because it is a dandy." When Lawrence Taylor retired after 1993, his resume was undeniable. 1986. NFL MVP, the last defensive player ever. 3 times Defensive Player of the Year, 132.5 official sacks, plus 9.5 rookie sacks, 142 total, 2 Super Bowl championships. But 1986 was his peak, 20.5 sacks. That number is staggering, but it does not show the story. He was the unanimous MVP of the entire league, not most outstanding defender, most valuable player, the whole league. A defender, almost impossible. He led the Big Blue Wrecking Crew to Super Bowl victory. Modern edge rushers are measured by the Taylor standard. Von Miller, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons. They are all compared to him. Watt creates chaos and forces turnovers like Taylor. Parsons came from linebacker to rusher, using speed like Taylor. But coaches and linemen from that era say the comparison fails. Modern rushers benefit from structural changes Taylor forced. They face one-on-one blocking because the system evolved. Taylor faced the old system. He had to break it himself. Individually, Lawrence Taylor was a system breaker. He broke the fundamental covenant of 1970s football. The offense controlled tempo. The offense dictated how football was played. The defense bent but did not break. It was a reactive entity. Taylor became proactive. A chaotic variable, rigid equations, and careful game plans could not account for him. He forced the league to evolve in 3 distinct dimensions. Tactical. They invented the H-back. They invented 2 tight end sets for extra blockers. Every formation, every scheme, every approach had to adjust. Economic. Left tackle salaries exploded. A new premium position was born. Billions in financial changes across the entire league because one man was unstoppable. Psychological. Fear entered the trenches. The Theismann injury proved it. A franchise quarterback, the most valuable asset a team has, can be destroyed if the blind side is unprotected. That fear is real. That fear changed how players approach the job. When NFL legends talk about Lawrence Taylor, they do not speak as peers. They do not speak as equals. They speak of a natural disaster, a hurricane that made landfall in 1981 and permanently changed the landscape of the sport. They speak with reverence, with respect, with awe. He did not just play the position better than anyone else. He played it so differently that the position itself had to be reinvented. He forced the entire league to evolve. Every quarterback who checks the blind side before releasing the football, every general manager who drafts a left tackle in the top 5, every offensive coordinator using the H-back package, every coach trying to build protection schemes, they all pay silent tribute to number 56, to the man who broke the game, to the man who changed football forever, to the legend, to Lawrence Taylor. That is how good he was. That is his legacy.